Kensington High Street was a fashion magnet, and in the 1970s, countless independent and chain shops and department stores thrived there, from Bieber to Barker's and everything in between. King's Road had dozens of shops of different kinds, catering for classic clothing as well as the high-end and edgy fashion, Peter Jones to Vivienne Westwood and Malcolm McLaren's World's End. In my youth, I spent many happy hours trawling shops in both streets. Kensington High Street has lost its mojo, and I dread to think how many shops will fail to reopen and thrive post-COVID-19. However, King's Road, with its more enlightened landlords and wide range of shops, cafes, pubs and restaurants, seems more likely to rally. However, as Councillor Mason has stated, the loss of potential business from perhaps 250,000 visitors and staff at Royal Brompton a year could be lethal to the future of King's Road. The area may be popular with local residents, it certainly is, but the loss of so many potential customers is alarming. We know that some of the hospital clinical staff use local pubs. One told me that he'd been lobbied by Councillor Henderson at one of the local pubs about saving the hospital. Some have questioned whether or not hospital visitors spend money in the area, and this is why we need an economic impact assessment, so we have the evidence we need to prove or disprove this particular point. And if the result is what we fear, this must surely have some effect on the progress of the Royal Brompton Hatfield plans. As we've heard from Councillor Lowry, the nurses' home on Fowler's Terrace already has planning permission to be turned into private flats, along with the decimation of the very well-loved Farmers Market and Thamesbrook Residential Care Home, which was ours, of course. They already have planning permission from the council to be turned into private housing or caviar care in the case of Thamesbrook. And already the character of the area is changing. Well, we are where we are. So while we understand that the Sydney Wing inpatient ward and treatment centres and the recently approved new imaging centre in Dovehouse Street are to remain for the foreseeable future, possibly up to 10 years, the concern for the long-term future of the Fulham Wing and the South Parade remain. It may be that we can't stop the merger of organisations, but the council has powers through the planning system to determine the future of the Fulham Wing and South Parade buildings, which are currently under threat. We need a pause in this process, Mr. Mayor. We need an SPD for the sites under threat. We need full engagement in the upcoming consultation in the new year, and we really need an economic impact assessment that will provide a complete picture of the potential damage to the local economy of the loss of such a large local destination. King's Road is special, and I think we should keep it that way. In concluding, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to commend the council, and this is a rare moment, for their principled stand against the very real and damaging fallout of the government-endorsed Naylor report, which recommends selling off NHS high-value property to fund services decimated by government cuts. After the loss of the nurses' home and farmers' market, I hope we can preserve the remainder of the NHS property and all their services in the area long term, and we in the Labour group will be happy to work with the council to prevent any further selling off of public assets and vital local services for luxury housing. I support Councillor Mason's motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Dent Coad.